I mean, I remember when I was going through university, the old adage, it's forming, it's
Storming.
storming,
Yeah.
norming, performing. If you're saying, and I agree with you, we are in smaller teams, or maybe not smaller teams, but in teams for shorter periods of time. Do we go through that? Do we have to? What level of trust are we building up here? Because
I don't think forming, storming, norming, performing, transforming, I think was the last. I don't think that's outdated or wrong. I think it is right. I just think things have got to happen quickly. From a trust point of view, that was the thing that I forgot in your question. Sorry. From a trust point of view, as you'll know, a great quote was told to me by Peter Hawkins, where he said, I don't even trust my wife or my kid 100%. My kid, 16 years old, might steal my car and drive. My wife might forget to take the washing out when she said she was going to take the washing out. So I can't fully trust. So how can I expect to trust my colleague at work? Can I trust them enough to place our distrust on the table?
okay,
Can I trust them enough to place our distrust, as might be mistrust, on the table? So I don't think it's that we have to trust each other implicitly, but we need to be able to be open enough and say, Mike, geez, I think this is brilliant. My impression of you is you've displayed these and these behaviors as well, which concern me.
so often what happens, because I see this with teams, the moment someone puts that out, ego starts to come in, right? And they either, well, it happens in two ways, right? The first thing is someone doesn't say it, so they think it, and then but they don't say it, and there's this like sort of, oh no, everything's fine, and it's not. So that's not putting your distrust on the table. But sometimes when you put your distrust on the table, do you not find that the ego comes in and then it's like, that guy hates me, I'm not talking to him. And I know it's petty, and I know it sounds like children's playground stuff.
And it really can, and I've heard stories about that. I think one was, first of all, you've got to work purpose back. What level of trust does our purpose require us to have? In teams, you can break them up into three categories. You've got a golf team, a cricket team, and a rugby team. And I don't mean this literally. A golf team, they wear the same badge, but they're not interdependent. I don't need you. Our scores get added up at the end. We're just playing on our own. Cricket team, individual skill, but still some level of interdependence. So I rely a bit on you and you rely a bit on me. Rugby team, we rely heavily on each other. Whenever I work with a team, business, sport, whatever, try and understand what kind of a team they are. Not literally, if you get the metaphor. Yeah. Because golf team probably don't need the trust to be that high. So don't sit there and work for hours and hours and hours on the level of trust. Yeah. Work on individual competence potentially, but acknowledge the fact that we don't need to waste our time trying to. Rugby team, high level of interdependence, therefore high level of trust. We need to work harder on the trust. They cricket a little bit in between. Brilliant. Does that make sense?
That's fantastic.
So identifying what kind of a team you are and what level of interdependence is required enables you then to work into the trust. How much trust is then required? I think to go to your point, yes, the ego does come out. I think it's also how well it's framed by the leader. So I'm working with a team a forming team, a little management team of a sports group, and they are very much forming. The leader needs to show some vulnerability. The leader needs to say, you know what, I'm not going to get it all right, and that's fine. So immediately the leader okaying, and I'll be honest, it's quite a hierarchical kind of society that I'm talking about in this particular team. That leader okaying mistakes and okaying vulnerability is already creating a little bit of a safer space. He could have come in and said, drive, push, we must get results. And I put money on it, there would be less trust in the team. So just by being open and by him modeling a certain way, I think the trust will develop quicker.
You mentioned,